Greetings, welcome to the Citizen Exclusive with your host, Mpoki Thomson. Today's episode, we have the honor of hosting Malala Yousafzai. Malala is a rights activist, but also a Nobel laureate. Malala, welcome to the Citizen Exclusive. Welcome to Tanzania.
Thank you. Asante sana.
Already know Swahili.
Kidogo.
Kidogo. Perfect. So, Malala, the work that you're doing in Tanzania, in Africa, and across the world is commendable. This is your first time visiting Tanzania, but we understand that the Malala Fund has been active in the country since 2022, helping girls reintegrate to school, that is, young mothers. Can you tell us why did you choose to come to Tanzania this time around, and what has been your impression so far?
I started Malala Fund, a non-profit to advocate for every out-of-school girl to be able to learn and complete her education. Tanzania is one of those countries where there are more than 2 million girls who do not have access to secondary education. They face issues in traveling to school, inside the school as well. There are safety concerns, and there has been this biggest barrier where teen mothers and early pregnancy issues have kept so many girls out of school. So our priority was to ensure that we address all the barriers that girls face, work together with the local education activists, so that in Tanzania there is no girl who misses the opportunity of learning.
Okay, so we are tracking the progress that Tanzania is making in allowing young mothers to go back to school. However, we spent more than 50 years allowing schools to expel pregnant girls. And now, within a short span, in the year 2021, we had a policy reversal, which allowed now the reintegration after 2 years of childbirth. But what is your impression so far in terms of how Tanzania has made that big turnaround? After 5 decades of
Yes.
not allowing pregnant girls to go to school, and then now we had the reversal. What has been the progress?
I think the re-entry of girls, the early the re-entry of young mothers to school is a moment of success. However, we need to ensure that this is not just an announcement that we think that addresses all the issues regarding the re-entry of girls. There are still so many things that need to be done, from the implementation of this policy, that it
Yes.
is taken seriously, that it is part of the law. At the same time, we need to work with the communities as well, work with the girls directly as well. So I want to bring attention to one of the initiatives that we support, which is the Msichana initiative
Yes.
in Tanzania. And these incredible activists of this organization are working together with schools, with the communities, and with the girls directly to help them return to classroom.
Okay, now more on the policy shift, because that has been the concern that the circular does not have the legal mandate. So all these rights activists are looking at having a legal framework that would ensure implementation is legally binding. What policy shift are you working with the Tanzanian government to ensure that it comes into play so that to make this re-entry more effective?
So right now, Malala Fund is working with 11 activist organizations who are advocating for a legal protection for girls' rights and girls' education. And you are exactly right. We need to ensure that this is not just a part of one government policies, that in case leaders change or governments change, that these rights are taken back. This is what worries me the most about girls' rights, that it's so fragile. So we need to make sure that there is a legal framework and protection around guaranteeing these rights to girls. And so together with all of these activists, Malala Fund is here to bring attention and to amplify the activism of these incredible people who are asking government to ensure that this is a more solid, bold commitment, and that this becomes integrated into the legal system.
What about the cultural norms? Because that is also one of the impediments that these young girls face. When society views them, stigmatizes them. So how is that being addressed? You're talking at the community level in terms of addressing the cultural norms.
The activists who we support are working in different parts of Tanzania, and they're working in some of those communities where only 3% of girls, especially in the rural areas, complete their secondary education, they make it to their high school. So our goal is to actually work in the most disadvantaged, in the most underserved areas. And I think this work is best done when you partner with local uh, activists.
Yeah.
So when I visited the work of the Msichana initiative in Congo school, I saw how there were these local community leaders, partners who were coming together. They were talking to the parents, they were talking to the girls, they were talking to teachers. They are promoting safety in schools. They're also talking about re-entry into schools. And I think it's really all stakeholders and all people coming together that can help us make a difference. And I'm really positive, I'm really optimistic about the transformation that we are witnessing. And I hope that this momentum continues and we give more support to these local activists. We fund their work, we listen and support their advocacy because they are driving the real change here in this country for girls.
Indeed. Now, another challenge that Tanzania and also Africa faces is child marriage, which is also a big impediment when it comes to girls going to school. What is Malala Fund doing, working with African governments and other development partners to tackle the issue of child marriage? Because in some countries, it remains part of the customary law. So
Yeah.
what is the initiative around that?
Malala Fund's stance is very clear. And I have been a very strong advocate against child marriage. I think it should be as simple as this, that a child should not be married. A child should not be forced to make a decision like this. So they should not be forced into marriage. This is something that takes away their dreams from them, their agency from them. It is against a child's right. So my hope here is that in every country, including Tanzania, no girl below the age of 18 is forced into marriage. And we do everything to protect them, because when we protect girls from child marriage, we allow them to be in school. And at the same time, when we invest more in girls' education, we can help them to have a pathway where they're protected from things like child marriage. So it's that simple,
Yeah. So you're saying it is that simple, yes. Logically speaking, when you look at
Yes.
the fact that young girls who are underage are allowed to get married, one would think that any government would strike that law out. But then that's not the case. What do you think remains the biggest challenge for many governments, especially here in Africa, to completely repeal such laws that allow child marriage?
I think one of the challenges in these conversations has been the absence of women and girls in these discussions. In rooms where decisions about girls' future are made, girls are not present, they're not heard. And I wish leaders could sit down with the girls. They could visit a school, they could visit girls in a local community and talk to girls about their dreams, about what they want to see for their future. I've had the opportunity of meeting girls, and girls share their dreams with me. They want to become doctors, teachers, advocates, athletes, politicians.
Yeah.
They have big dreams for themselves, and they know that a pathway for that is a quality, safe education. They do not want to be forced into marriage. They do not want to be threatened. They do not want to be unsafe going to school or at home or inside schools. They want us to stand with them and support them. And so my hope is that we listen to girls, and when decisions about girls' future are made, that girls are heard and listened. And that's why we need to support girls-led and young women-led activism more. We need to amplify the work that they're doing, and I hope that will help us come up with better policies that are inclusive, that are gender inclusive.
Indeed. Now let's talk about the gender-based violence. Tanzania, mainland Tanzania and Zanzibar has made progress over the years. We are seeing less and less cases about GBV. However, cases concerning children and also rape against girls remain high when you look comparatively. So what is being done to address GBV not only in Tanzania but across the globe?
So Malala Fund has two priorities. One is the re-entry of teenage or young mothers to school. And then the second one is safety against gender-based violence at home, to school, and inside school. So safety at school has to be a top priority for us to ensure that girls can keep learning. And for that, we need we need safety. We need to make sure that the government is playing its role in ensuring that girls are protected, and I think these are some of the things that if we do not address them, the large amount of girls would be impacted. So that's something that we're doing together with the activists here in Tanzania. They're doing incredible work to raise awareness, to also push for changes in the law that that everything actually favors girls and keeps them safe.
Indeed, indeed. So when we're looking at the positive outturn in terms of the numbers of GBV cases declining, it is also believed that it could be due to the fact that there is an underreporting of such cases. So what is being done to engage the community in terms of speaking out more whenever anyone faces any GBV instance?
So I think for Malala Fund, our work is about supporting education activists who work on the ground.
Yeah.
And I got an opportunity to meet some of the activists who we support. There is Haki Limu, Hope for Young Girls.
Yeah.
There is Tim Met and Msuchana Initiatives. And just speaking with just a few of them helped me understand how they are diving deep into understanding the root causes of the obstacles that girls face, and they collectively are advocating for girls' safety. The stories that they shared with me were heartbreaking. They have their own stories of being harassed. They have their own stories of gender-based violence as well. And I had an opportunity of hearing one activist story who refought for her right to be back in school after becoming a teenage mom. So, when you see how they have made their way out through education, they have now a better future. They wish the same for other girls as well. So they understand the power of education. And for Malala Fund, it's really important that we support the activism of local activists who are doing local level awareness raising work or doing national advocacy, because my own journey of activism started with just me and my father being activists in our community, and we believe in the power of local activism. So we want to strengthen that in Tanzania, partner with them to bring in a better and safe environment for girls to complete their school.
Okay, but no, real progress is only made feasible if governments are able to put enough financial support into healthcare and education. But for Tanzania and other African or developing countries, it becomes very difficult when they also have to face the debt burden. And the debt burden comes due to the fact that we have to borrow from external partners and other developed countries to finance some of the mega projects that could be infrastructure projects and what have you. What is the conversation that you're having with world leaders around debt financing to ensure that African governments, the Tanzanian government, is able to put enough financial support into education and healthcare and not have to worry so much about facilitating the debt?
Yeah. I fully agree with you. While there is progress that we have made for girls, we are also living in a challenging time because there have been so many setbacks. Countries are cutting their funding to aid, and that also means cuts to girls' education. And at the same time, we know that the system has been failing as well. Countries are stuck in this debt crisis where, for example, one study that we did showed that in 2024, 10 countries, the top 10 countries which have the most challenging environments for girls to be in school, have to pay 4 times as much on debt repayment than on their education spending. So this is like a clear hurdle. Resources are limited, and if we want to unlock those resources for education, specifically for girls' education, we have to address the debt issue. And that's why at Malala Fund, at the global level, at the national level, we are getting involved in the debt reform conversation. And we're partnering with Global Partnership for Education, GPE, which the former president of Tanzania, Kikwete, chairs. And it's our global partnership and alliance that we want to work together to remind our leaders, to remind governments that we'll not be able to serve girls. There are millions, 120 million girls around the world who do not have access to education. We will not be able to unlock that potential, unlock those resources for their education if we do not address the debt crisis.
Okay, so every July 12th, the world celebrates Malala Day. And fortunate for us, Tanzania, and for you, you were able to celebrate that day in Tanzania in 2025. What does Malala Day mean to you personally and the work that you do?
Malala Day for me is a day where we celebrate every girl around the world. Every girl is inspiring. She has a story. She has the potential to become a change maker for her community, and she deserves the right to be in school. So I use this day to bring attention to the stories of these incredible girls. I highlight the challenges that they face. I give my platform to them because their voices need to be heard. And this year, to celebrate my 28th birthday, I'm here in Tanzania to bring attention to the inspiring stories of girls in Tanzania. They are remarkable. The first girl I met as I landed here was an 11-year-old girl, and she told me that she wants to be the president of Tanzania. I met other girls who want to be in sports, they want to be athletes, they want to be doctors, they want to be decision makers, and that gave me so much hope for this country. And just it was a reminder that there are so many girls out there, just like these one, who are fortunate to be in school, who we need to think about, and we should make sure that we do not leave more than 2 million girls at the secondary level in Tanzania behind. We need to invest in their education.
So as we conclude, Malala, looking back, what gave you the courage to continue advocating even after that attempt on your life back in 2012?
I was attacked for simply wanting to be in school, and for me, now it has become about the right of every other girl to be in school. So I don't know if it's courage or if it's bravery, whatever it is, but I want to see a world where no girl is left behind and education is her right. I remember the time when I was 11 years old and I could not go to school. I also remember the time when I was attacked for daring to go to school. And I also remember the times that I have spent with girls who are denied the opportunity to be in school. I know that this is an unfair world that girls live in when their right to education is denied. We have to step up to challenge that. Girls should have the equal right of learning and following their dreams. And my hope is to now transform what happened to me and what I experienced into something much bigger, because the Taliban wanted to stop me from learning. Now I want to advocate for all girls to be able to learn, whether it's girls in Afghanistan to girls in Tanzania to girls in Pakistan. We can create a world where there is no girl out of school.
Okay, so just the final one, I want you to send a special message to a young Tanzanian girl or a girl in any part of the world who has lost hope for the future. What message of encouragement do you have for them? And you can just look right into the camera as you address them directly.
To all the girls in Tanzania, wasichana wa Tanzania, and to all the girls around the world, I want you to know that you are powerful, you have the confidence, you can change the world, you can stand up for your right to be treated fairly, to have the right to education, and to have a better future. Always believe in yourself, stand up for yourself, and I want you to know that I stand with you. And we will ask every leader, every government to step up for you and protect your right to learn so you can lead and you can thrive in your life.
Malala, thank you for that message.
Thank you.
And this marks the end of the
Asante sana.
interview. You were with me, Mpoki Thomson, for the Citizen exclusive. We were with Malala Yousafzai. She's in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam. We had a great conversation. Until next time, adios.